So, in patch 1.04 for Elden Ring, we saw a lot of buffs to sorceries, incantations, weapon skills. There were a couple of nerfs as well, but I have recently put together a flame build or a flame incantation build, and the best incantation I found personally was Giantsflame Take Thee, and as well as that and a couple of others, they have been buffed. So we are going to take a look and see if anything else is as viable, as powerful, all that sort of stuff. So just quickly before we do get any further into the video, if you're not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you do sub, turn notifications on. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, all support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to support me further as a creator, then check out the links in the description, and let's get into it. So there are only going to be 3 that we have a look at, those 3 being Giantsflame Take Thee, Flame of the Fell God, and Whirl. The reason we are taking a look at those 3, because the last video I did I had a look at Flame Fall Upon Them, but Flame Fall Upon Them had an upward and downward adjustment. They decreased the damage of single cast, and improved the performance so that it hits the enemy multiple times, and they decreased the FP cost. So because it's in the downward and upward, I'm not going to be looking at it in this video. The reason we are taking a look at these 3 is because, not so much Giantsflame Take Thee as more of a comparison for this video, because the only thing they did with that was decreased the stamina cost, whereas Flame of the Fell God, they decreased the FP cost and also increased the damage. Then with Whirl, they increased the damage and decreased the recovery time. I tried that in the previous video and it was quite fun to use. The other one we could have taken a look at is Whirl, but that only had a cast speed increase and they decreased the recovery time, so it was more focusing on the damage in this one. So if we back out, we will use Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength to actually buff them up. And if we quickly take a look, I'm also running the wrong way. I've got the Phlox Canvas Talisman to raise the potency of incantations, raise the fire attack with Fire Scorpion Charm, raise my attack power when my health is at maximum with Ritual Sword, and then Godfrey Icon to enhance charged spells. Then the main thing is going to be the Giant Seal, because it boosts the Giantsflame incantations. Another thing is, in the Flask of Wondrous Physic, we do have the Flame Shroud and Crack tier and the Faith Not Crystal tier. So if I drink that first, then we are going to use Golden Vow, then Flame Grant Me Strength. Then if we charge up Giantsflame Take Thee, 35-38. So let's go reset and we'll try the others. So this time round we'll try Whirl. Okay, 4,000, so that's actually stronger than Giantsflame Take Thee. So the final test, Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, I've drunk my flask as well. So Flame of the Fell God. It's got to deal more than 3,500. It does, purely because of the flames it drops on the floor. It was close to a one-tap on that giant. But obviously, it's going to be a lot more situational, because you have to keep the enemies on the, in the area that the flames are at on the floor. Because basically, you spawn the ball. It's like the fire giant enemy up in mountaintops of the giants. You spawn the ball, comes towards you. Then when it gets, to a certain distance towards you, when it's really close, it will just explode and then it sets the floor ablaze. So obviously they're going to be very situational. And if you have a look, Giantsflame Take Thee uses up 2 memory slots. And it's got an FP cost of 32. Then Flame of the Fell God is 42, also taking up 2 slots. And then Whirl is only 21 FP and it takes up 1 slot. And that was very close to the damage dealt by Flame of the Fell God. So I'd say they're all good, but if you look at the requirements as well, 30 Faith, then we've got 41, and only 13 for Whirl. So whilst my previous video basically showed off Giantsflame Take Thee, and we also had a look at Flame Fall Upon Them, I think Whirl probably the best. It's got the lowest FP cost, it deals actually more damage than Giantsflame Take Thee, and it's got a much, much lower faith requirement. But what we're going to do is run one more test. We'll go over to Caelid, and fingers crossed we can actually one-tap this enemy. So, starting off with Golden Vow, then I'll drink my flask. Then Flame grant me strength. And if we lock on, you don't have to lock on. That's one of the really good things about these incantations. But if I charge it up and lock on, 49.53. And it is a one tap, so that's really, really good. So the ball's going towards him. It should track. It's stopped at the ram. So it's looking as though, even though it does a little bit more damage, it's looking as though Giantsflame Take Thee is still better than Flame of the Fell God. Because Flame of the Fell God just explodes whenever it gets near an enemy. It doesn't actually stop at the right enemy. I will try and get it to hit the dog. I don't want it to hit one of the rams. There we go, that should do it. Okay, the damage is really powerful. It was almost 7,000 damage. The dog just got deleted. So it seems as though Flame of the Fell God is a little bit more powerful. I would say it's a little bit more reliable as well, because you're just casting a ball, you're not throwing one. Because if we quickly take a look at, like with Giantsflame Take Thee, it's not got a lot of range, and you've got to chuck the ball. Whereas Flame of the Fell God, you just stand there and you cast it, and it follows the enemy, like it tracks them. And obviously, if there are other enemies in the way, it will kind of get interrupted, and like they are situational. But Flame of the Fell God seems to have a lot more power, and obviously it was buffed in patch 1.04 for its damage. So I mean, I think it's really good. It makes the please don't come over here. He's coming over. So I doubt 2500, but he come and attacked me. Yeah, it seems as though patch 1.04 has just brought a lot of stuff in line with other abilities in the game, which I think is really, really good, because a lot of game companies will just nerf everything that's overpowered, so you're kind of left with the stuff on the bottom end of the power sort of scale. For an example, like the best one I can give, if you've got, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really, really powerful, if you've got a lot of stuff, like you want to balance a 5, if you've got some things in the game that are a 7, and you've got others that are a 3, a lot of developers will, instead of bringing the 3s up to a 5, they will bring the 7s down to a 5. So basically, instead of having that max end of things a 7 on the scale, you're only going to have things that are a 5. So instead of bringing the basically the attack power up, a lot of companies would bring it down, and it doesn't help the community, the player base or anything at all, because instead of having things that are overpowered and providing you have the right builds and all that sort of stuff, you can deal a lot of damage, you're going to be stuck with it because they just like nerf everything. And I think that's what annoys players, because obviously you don't want stuff that's crazy overpowered in games. Like, I mean, to the point of being able to one-tap the final boss when you're level 1. And, like, stupid stuff like that. You don't want it too much over the top. But to have stuff that does stand out, I think it's quite good. So, Whirl Flame, this guy needs to stop seeing me. All I can do is 2500. So that was a look at the flame incantations since patch 1.04, and the fact that they have brought up some of the worst performing flame incantations. But what we're going to do is leave the video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.